Hello and thanks for joining us on Nationwide today. I am Ifoma Ojintan. With unconstitutional change of government resurging in West Africa, President Bola Tinubu has urged ECOWAS leaders to improve on delivery of good governance to discourage military intervention in the region. President Tinubu, as the chairman of the bloc, spoke at the 64th ordinary session of the body's Authority of Heads of States and Government held in Abuja. The Nigerian leader acknowledged that much progress has been recorded in the last 5 months, but also mentioned issues mitigating the fundamental integration mission of the bloc. He promised that ECOWAS will continue to take action to protect democracy and believes security of the region must be achieved irrespective of other commitments of the leaders. Details in our subsequent bulletins. Following the delivery of the first cargo of 950,000 barrels of crude oil to the Dangote Refining Company, the National Orientation Agency (NOA) has applauded the dogged commitment of the company and the federal government to restarting local production of petroleum products in Nigeria. In a statement, NOA says supply from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited is a major breakthrough for the country after many years of importation with attendant supply hiccups, corruption, and detrimental impact of high foreign exchange demand on the economy. Director General of the agency, Lanre Issa Onilu, in a congratulatory message to the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the NNPCL and Dangote Refining Company said the breakthrough is a cheering news that underscores the resolve of government and Nigeria's progress towards economic stability and prosperity. For the Director General, the Dangote Refining Company, the biggest in Africa, will become a major player in the petroleum production and supply chain in Africa and help tackle the many problems affecting the sector, including unstable product pricing in the country. All the 109 senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria have donated their 1-month salaries amounting to 109 million naira to the victims of drone mishap in Tudumbiri, Igabi local government area of Kaduna State. The Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Barrow Jibril, announced this at the Kaduna Government House when he led a high-power delegation of the Senate to the states. Senator Barrow, in a statement by his special advisor, Media and Publicity, said the money would be sent to the state governor for onward delivery to the victims. The governor, who received the senators on arrival, thanked the senators for their donations. And the House of Representatives has shifted the resumption of plenary from Tuesday, December 12th to 19th December 2023. A statement from the clerk, Dr. Yahaya Lanzaria, indicates that the change became necessary to enable Committee on Appropriation and subcommittees of the House to conclude budget defense of the 2024 appropriation with ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Defense of the 27.5 trillion naira proposed 2024 appropriation commenced last Monday after President Bola Tinubu presented the budget to a joint session on the 29th November 2023. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has pledged legislative support for the next population census. This was made known in Abuja when the National Population Commission had an interaction on its activities with the House Committee on Population. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ipen has details.
Population statistics aid economic planning and development. As Nigerians await the next population census, the need for deployment of technology that would aid an effective population census as well as accurate data is highlighted at this retreat. Chairman, House Committee on Population Ogunjimi Odimayo advocates meaningful collaboration towards accurate population statistics.
There is a need to ensure that implementation of poverty alleviation programs are driven by current data from the next census.
All the economic indices are based on assumed figure, and this is not good for the country. With what we have seen now, this house, this committee is going to pass this message to the leadership of the house, and we are going to make it a compulsory exercise.
Meanwhile, the House Committee on States and Local Governments at its inaugural sitting has pledged to promote intergovernmental synergy to accelerate grassroots development.
The essence is to promote the spirit of good governance, transparency, and accountability in the utilization of scarce national resources for development at the grassroots.
The committee has adopted a work plan to achieve its objectives. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
The Federal Road Safety Corps Kaduna Sector Command has confirmed the death of 18 passengers in a crash involving a DAF-articulated truck carrying goods and passengers. Dauda Mohammed reports that preliminary investigation reveals that the driver lost control 10 minutes into the journey with the vehicle somersaulting. The driver is alleged to have fled the scene of the incident. Those injured have been evacuated to a hospital in Kaduna, while the dead have been deposited at the mortuary. The FRSC has been campaigning against conveying goods and passengers at the back of articulated trucks due to its dangers and high casualty in cases of crashes. The Nigerian Navy has arrested 17 suspects for engaging in illegal siphoning of crude oil in Ondo State. Tony Batiri reports that the suspects were caught by the officers of Forward Operating Base in Ilaje local government area of the state.
The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command said the apprehension of the vessel was based on credible intelligence received by the base on the illegal activities of crude oil thieves at the location, which informed the deployment of the Forward Operating Base Igbokoda personnel led by the commanding officer to enforce the arrest of the vessel and her crew.
Based on credible intelligence and from funny movements from in our sensors, we detected anomalies at the Ebason oil field. So our quick reaction team was dispatched to the area, and they met a vessel siphoning crude oil from double channels into her tanks.
The vessel's storage capacity is about 15,000 metric tons, and as at the time of the arrest, it has loaded about 500 metric tons of crude oil, and that upon further interrogation, it was discovered that the vessel had on board 17 crew members of Nigerian nationality.
I don't even know how to do this business before. This is the first time it's all deceived me to this place. I don't know that they are doing bunkery. They don't deceive what I'm a jetor specialist.
The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, however, warned that the Nigerian Navy will use all legitimate means at its disposal to track and arrest perpetrators of illegalities in Nigeria's maritime domain. In Nakure, Toyin Batere, NTA News.
A statement from the Director Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, indicates that operatives of the National Drug Law Agency, NDLEA, on Saturday, 9th December 2023, intercepted at the Akano Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, a businessman, Justin Emeka, 44, who claims to deal in copper wire, was arrested at the airport upon his arrival from Douala, Cameroon, via Addis Ababa on Ethiopia Airline with 12 consignments consisting of 797 pallets of cocaine weighing 17.6 kilograms During preliminary interview, the suspect admitted the cocaine consignments were for delivery to 12 different persons in the country. In a related development, NDLEA operatives at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, on Friday, 8 December, arrested a fleeing suspect, Onyejuwa Prince Ifeanyi, who has gone into hiding since 8 September following the seizure of a United Kingdom-bound 20 kilograms cannabis consignment concealed in tomato paste tins at the Sako shed linked to him. Also on Monday, 4th December, a 45-year-old Beninois Jamila Fatiu was arrested at Ebutero jetty in Lagos Island with 398 bottles of codeine cough syrup on her way to Seme-Boda via a boat service. And in Kaduna State, NDLEA officers acting on intelligence disrupted a pre-wedding ceremony drug abuse competition in a community popularly known as Shola Quarters, Katsina, and arrested 25 youths participating in the drug party. Though the groom, Musa Gwandi, who organized the drug party along with his friends, was not at the venue at the time the 25 others were arrested. He was, however, nabbed on Sunday, 3rd December, following a manhunt for him. The war against drug abuse, WADA advocacy campaign on the agency continued in equal measures in schools, markets, worship places, and others across the country in the past week, as NDLEA Chairman Brigadier General Buba Marwa commended officers of all the commands. The Policy and Legal Advocacy Center says Nigeria's electoral process and institutions responsible for election management need urgent reforms to deepen more of citizens' confidence in the system. This formed part of the Center's 2023 Human Rights Report. Timothy Yusuf has more.
2023 elections in the country might have come and gone, but with so many questions begging for answers regarding the Electoral Act, the Policy and Legal Advocacy Center believes that citizens' confidence in the electoral process needs to be unquestionable.
Government institutions need to be made more accountable and responsible, obeying established laws that safeguard human rights and civic space. It is also important to ensure that judicial officers who abuse their office or use same for pecuniary gains are held to account.
Meanwhile, the Committee for the Defense of Democracy at this media briefing is alerting the public to alleged repeated threats following the outcome of the November 11 election in Kogi State. The committee prayed relevant security agencies to leave no stone unturned in investigating and bringing perpetrators of electoral offences to book. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Adequate sensitization and involvement of all state actors will entrench the culture of respect for human rights in communities and the society. This is the unanimous advocacy by stakeholders who turned out to join the National Human Rights Commission Akwa Ibom State Office in a road walk to commemorate the 2023 Human Rights Day in Uyo.
The Human Rights Day, commemorated every December 10, focuses on ensuring freedom, equality, and justice for all, irrespective of religious, educational, social inclination, or any other status. To this end, the stakeholders, drawn from the public and private sectors in Akwa Ibom State, believe strongly that the infusion of human rights in a people's culture is a sure way to meeting the aims of the United Nations declarations.
What we want is the universality of human rights principles. Let's treat every member of the society as humans.
You know, human rights speaks to the dignity of the human person. And if you take dignity away from a human being, that person is no longer human.
For the coordinator, National Human Rights Commission, Akwa Ibom State Office, Uloma Umozurike, family, traditional and religious leaders are crucial to driving the advocacy.
People know their rights, because until you know that what is being done to you is wrong, that is when you can speak out. At the same time, make them understand that there is a difference between right and crime.
The theme for the 2023 Human Rights Day is consolidating and sustaining human rights culture into the future. Dianime Uko, NTA News.
It's now time to join Hingino in Lagos for more news on Nationwide. Hello, Hingino.
Of 2024 to increase employment opportunities and enhance competitiveness in the creative industry. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu stated this at the opening ceremony of the Art of Technology Lagos. Ese Nwamaka reports.
The Lagos creative economic sector is a dynamic force that fuels the state's economic growth, encompassing diverse industries such as film, music, fashion and design, and advertising. This ecosystem thrives on the brilliance and innovation of its workforce. The Art of Technology Lagos, with the theme, The Creative Economy and the Digital Lagos, is aimed at exploring opportunities for young people to connect and build ideas that will drive the innovation ecosystem to achieve a smarter Lagos. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, while speaking, called for collaborative action between government at all levels and practitioners in the creative industry to tackle the challenge of copyright piracy in the country.
Already, where we've done about halfway of our 6,000 kilometer metro fiber ducts connectivity, where we want to have fiber connectivity in almost every part, of the state. You can imagine what that will do, in terms of your content and in terms of your access, in the social media space.
Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, noted that using technology for a digital Lagos will not only boost the creative industry, but benefit the teeming youth population in the state.
I am committing to working with you to ensure that by Q1 next year, that we can actually open up the ISM band of spectrum to innovators who want to build smart applications for this city.
Fifth edition of the Art of Technology Lagos brought together visionaries, innovators, and creative talents. In Lagos, Ese Omaka, NTA News.
Talking security now, the Nigerian Navy has taken delivery of 12 new Comstrat system CTS Ovation unmanned aerial vehicles to enhance its air operations and effectively secure the nation's maritime domain. Chief of the Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogana, who inducted the equipment at the Naval Air Base in Ojo, says it will increase the Navy's surveillance capabilities in fulfillment of national security interests. Amaka reports.
In recent time, recapitalization of naval assets, particularly the deployment of technology, has become a regular but strategic effort targeted at strengthening the nation's maritime security and defense capabilities. The introduction of these advanced unmanned aerial vehicles to its already existing air assets is a further demonstration of its commitment to the defense of the Nigerian maritime domain. Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala, who was represented, said the state-of-the-art equipment will assist in curtailing illegalities within the Nigerian Navy's area of responsibility, adding that 5 new helicopters will be acquired in the first quarter of 2024 to increase surveillance.
These drones will be integrated into our existing maritime domain awareness infrastructure, and pilots have been trained on it, and also engineers have also been trained on the maintenance.
In an era where innovation is a key driver of the global defense industry, acquisition of cutting-edge equipment is necessary to respond to any potential security threats. The UAVs are equipped with sensors, communication systems, and precision-guided capabilities.
These UAVs will play a crucial role in enhancing your naval capabilities and ensuring the safety and security of your waters.
This ceremony also witnessed the adoption of a revised local operating procedures and training order for the officers of the Naval Air Base, towards ensuring safety and risks reduction in air operations. In Lagos, Amaka O, NTA News.
That's it from here. Nationwide will continue after this break.
You're welcome back. The Nigerian-Finnish Association has called for concerted efforts in strengthening bilateral relations between Nigeria and Finland. The call was made during its extraordinary general meeting where the current executive committee, led by its president, Senator Otumba Gbenga Daniel, was ratified for another tenure of 2 years. The association emphasized the need to foster meaningful discussion on strategic economic cooperation and alliance between the two countries, especially in the spirit of global development and alignment. The Nigerian-Finnish Association calls for the strengthening of trade and development cooperation between both countries, while reiterating the association's support and commitment to promote the agenda for mutually beneficial socio-economic growth and prosperity. The Nigeria-Finnish Association, established in 2002 as a platform to advance and promote contacts for the benefit of individuals, companies, and organizations. International Rescue Committee has pledged to work with Nigeria with a view to addressing issues associated with climate change and food security. The international non-governmental organization will also assist in issues related to malnutrition in rural communities. Musa Baba Aliyu reports.
The International Rescue Committee has observed that climate change is contributing largely to global food crisis and malnutrition. The organization is therefore working with about 40 countries to mitigate some environmental challenges to improve food security. And this seminar is put together to analyze and review the partnership between Nigeria and the international organization.
And we seek to work with the government, and that appears at local level, at state level, and at federal level. Obviously, there's a big issue about the amount of harvest that ends up at the market. That's a big issue that needs to be addressed, but there's also big issues of malnutrition that need to be addressed. We're focused on the humanitarian, on the malnutrition effort. Climate change.
Other speakers advocate special interventions for vulnerable communities before and after flood and other natural disasters.
When it is provided, in addition to information to the farmers and how to engage in some coping strategies, it increases, one, the practices of the coping strategies. It also increases the outcomes for the farmers in terms of food security. And thirdly, it increases their farming practices over the long term.
To find solutions to how we can actually address this as a collective and as organizations who are interested in making sure that we reduce cases of malnutrition, we address issues of food insecurity.
The federal government, under the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, says it's ready to work with local and international organizations in eradicating hunger and malnutrition in the country. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Economic activities in Kebbi South is picking up after 3 years of banditry and kidnapping activities in the area. Correspondent Abdul Jalil Muhammad Bawa visited the popular Bina market in Danko Wasagu local government area of Kebbi State and brought back this story.
Bina Market is one of the largest rice market in Kebbi South, which attracts people from neighboring states of Sokoto, Zamfara and Niger State. The nefarious activities of kidnappers and bandits in the area led to massive relocation of people patronizing the market, thereby crippling its socio-economic activities. The intervention of the federal and state government through timely security interventions has yielded positive results, as the people are not only sleeping in the comfort of their homes with their 2 eyes closed, but Bina Market has begun to revive its lost glory.
Before I used to come to Bina Market every day, but due to insecurity almost 3 years, I can't visit my relatives. But now, alhamdulillah, the situation is okay. Now everything is okay, because over 3 years, we cannot drive to Kotonkoro Road. One has to drive through Kwantagora, to arrive here, but now we have seen for ourselves everything is okay. In our village, we border with Zamfara state, and there is need to dislodge all the bandit camps around Bagega, Kawaye, Sabon Birni, Dohua, and Diko. Our leaders should always fear God, and they should bear in mind that security of the poor masses lies on them. But kudos with what we are seeing now.
The member representing Donkosagu is at the State House of Assembly, Muhammad Garba Bena, thought the community was going into extinction, but thank God for the government timely intervention.
He pleaded with the governor that all the tree routes be blocked by security men. He answered our call by blocking the first one, that is a Southern Fat, which is bordering Niger. And then as a result of that blockage, now the people of Ayu, Yawuri, Shanga and Ingeski are very safe, including Sakaba local government.
History has been made and the people are hopeful that they will never abandon their homes and livelihood ever again, especially due to kidnapping and banditry.
For more stories on Nationwide, we now link up with Sadia in our Sokoto Network Center. Hello, good to see you, Sadia.
Thanks for joining us. Community participation and engagement have been described as critical in shaping government's policy direction towards execution of programs and projects that have direct bearing on the lives of people in the grassroots. This came to the fore at a capacity building training for community development personnel and women coordinators drawn from the 23 local government areas of Sokoto State. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports.
Community development revolves around inclusiveness, social justice, participatory democracy, sustainable growth and development, among others. Towards meeting these demands and sustainable development goals by the year 2030, the Ministry for Local Governments and Chieftaincy Affairs Sokoto State is collaborating with the Jama'ah System Consult Limited in the training of community development assistants and women coordinators across the 23 council areas of the state.
It will encourage young ladies and gentlemen to work and bring something tangible in their community so that the government will help them.
We are moving from the colonial mentality of managing the public affairs, what they call public administration, to what is considered now as public governance.
Participants say the workshop has updated their knowledge, noting that community engagement allows people to identify their needs and challenges as well as deepens trust between the government and people.
And more knowledge about the community development, particularly in our thematic areas that we have education, environment, health, good governance.
We are going back to teach our community people what we learn here.
The government, through its 9-point agenda, is determined to reposition the art of governance by way of participatory planning and decision-making process to bring equitable development across the state. From Sokoto, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Goru, a remote community in Birni, Kebbi local government area of Kebbi State, has broken its silence on gender-based violence, thanks to women journalists in Kebbi State who took the campaign against gender-based violence to the area. Osman Abdullah Shehu has details.
Goru is about 4 kilometers away from Birni, Kebbi, the capital of Kebbi State. Despite its proximity to the state capital, the characteristics of a typical village in northern Nigeria welcomes visitors. Gender-based violence is something they have never had before. So when members of the Nigerian Association of Women Journalists in Kebbi State, led by NTA Hassan Abubakar Koko, decided to join the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, Goru was quick to come to mind. It was an opportunity for Saratu Bello and Ige Bello Tilli to share their stories.
I have children, but due to I don't care attitude, their father doesn't care to investigate them on issues like this because we are no longer living together with him. We sent our children to school, but their teachers are threatening them.
The campaign became interactive as speakers took turn to enlighten the women and answer questions bothering their minds.
Gender-based violence is a global phenomenon that needs a holistic approach. So it's something that cannot be left for government alone to tackle.
The culture of silence on gender-based violence was broken, and it was not just the women who were elated by the good news, but surprisingly the traditional head of Guru.
The action.
Okay, we will have to discontinue with the news to enable us join the 64th ECOWAS ordinary session holding in Abuja. Thank you very much.
The authority expresses its deep preoccupation with the recent development in Guinea-Bissau and the threats they pose to constitutional order. The authority therefore calls for the full respect of the national constitution and a transparent investigation into the various events in accordance with the law and with a view to ensuring the quick restoration of all national institutions. The authority directs the Commission to support Guinea-Bissau in the consolidation of democracy, peace and stability, including through the completion of the ongoing review of the Constitution and the urgent defense and security sector reform. The authority further decides to extend the mandate of the ECOWAS Stabilization Support Mission in Guinea-Bissau. It instructs the Commission to take steps to review the mandate of the mission. On Liberia, the authority congratulates the government and the people of Liberia on the peaceful conduct of the general elections. The authority congratulates Ambassador Joseph Boakai on his election as President of Liberia and commends President George Weah for his statesmanship and gracious acceptance of the election results. The authority encourages the leaders and citizens of Liberia to continue to promote social cohesion. It urges the Commission to accompany Liberia in these efforts. On Sierra Leone, the authority strongly condemns the attempted coup d'etat of 26 November 2023 that has led to loss of life and destruction of property, and urges the judicial instances to conduct a thorough and transparent investigation into the events with a view to identifying and bringing the perpetrators to justice. The authority commends the signing of the Agreement for National Unity that emanated from the mediated dialogue between the government and the opposition All People's Congress, and urges all parties and other stakeholders to implement the agreement in good faith within the stipulated time frame. The authority instructs the Commission to continue to support Sierra Leone in these efforts. It further directs the Commission to facilitate the deployment of an ECOWAS security mission to Sierra Leone to help stabilize this country. On Senegal, the authority takes note of the preparations towards the 25th February 2024 presidential election and urges the government and stakeholders in the electoral process to continue to prioritize inclusivity and transparency towards the conduct of the poll. The authority urges all stakeholders to ensure strict adherence to constitutional norms, ECOWAS protocols, and the rule of law in the management of the electoral processes and other related matters to further strengthen the country's democratic culture. On the fight against terrorism and other related security issues, the authority reasserts its commitment to the eradication of terrorism and other threats to the peace, security, and stability of the region. To this end, the authority instructs the Commission to urgently resume efforts to activate the ECOWAS standby force in its kinetic mode for counter-terrorism operations in zones infested by terrorist armed groups. The authority instructs the Commission to expedite the convening of the meeting of Ministers of Finance and Defense to agree on the modalities for the mobilization of internal financial, human, and material resources on a mandatory basis to support the deployment of the regional counterterrorism force. The authority takes note of the commencement of assignment by the Special Envoy of Counterterrorism, Ambassador Baba Kamara, and directs the Commission to facilitate his mission. The authority directs the Commission to intensify collaboration with sub-regional counterterrorism initiatives such as the Accra Initiative and MTJN. The authority urges member states to increase funding for joint maritime operations and exercises in the region, and to improve coordination and collaboration among various ministries, departments, agencies responsible for maritime security. On the political situation in the Republic of Niger, the authority recalled its decision at its extraordinary summit of 30 July 2023 and 10th August 2023 on the political situation in the Republic of Niger. The authority commends the efforts of the Chair of Authority, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, towards the peaceful resolution of the political crisis. The authority deeply deplores the continued detention of President Mohamed Bazoum, his family, and associates by the CNSP administration. The authority further deplores the lack of commitment on the part of the CNSP to restore constitutional order. Consequently, the authority calls on the CNSP to release President Mohamed Bazoum, his family, and associates immediately and without condition. The authority decides to set up a committee of heads of state made up of the President and Head of State of the Republic of Togo, the President and the Head of State of the Republic of Sierra Leone, the President and Head of State of the Republic of Benin, to engage with CNSP and other stakeholders with a view to agreeing on a short transition roadmap, establishing transition organs, as well as facilitating the setting up of a transition monitoring and evaluation mechanism towards the speedy restoration of constitutional order. Based on the outcomes of the engagement by the Committee of Heads of State with the CNSP, the authority will progressively ease the sanctions imposed on Niger. Failure by the CNSP to comply with the outcomes of the engagement with the committee, ECOWAS shall maintain all sanctions, including the use of force, and will request African Union and all other partners to enforce the targeted sanctions on members of the CNSP and their associates. On the transition process in the region, the authority takes note of the meeting of the Presidential Troika to reflect on the political and security situation in the region, including on the transition process in Burkina Faso, Guinea, and Mali. The authority welcomes the successful national referendum in Mali and commends the transition authorities for the efforts they have deployed. However, the authority notes with concern the transition authorities' reluctance to cooperate with ECOWAS in the implementation of transition programs and other activities of interest to the region. The authority deplores the unilateral decisions taken on the implementation of the transitional programs agreed with ECOWAS. The authority requests the Troika, under the leadership of His Excellency President Talon of the Republic of Benin, to urgently undertake visits to Burkina Faso, Republic of Guinea, and Mali, with a view to re-engaging the three countries in inclusive implementation of the transition program. The authority directs the Commission to continue to support member states in transition in addressing security challenges and provide them with humanitarian assistance. The authority directs member states to exempt the transition presidents, prime ministers, and foreign ministers of the member states in transition from the travel ban and other targeted individual sanctions imposed on the three member states. The authority urges Mali to cooperate with MINUSMA troop contributing countries for the safe removal of contingent-owned equipment from Mali before the deadline. The authority rejects all forms of alliances that seek to divide the region and promote foreign interests in the region. The authority calls on member states to ensure regional unity of action by strictly adhering to collective decisions taken at the level of the authority. This is part of the communique of the session of Their Excellencies, the heads of state and government of the ECOWAS authority. Your Excellency, I thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Barring any other issue, I will declare this 64th ordinary session closed.
Thank you, Excellency. Standing on existing protocols, may we all rise for the ECOWAS anthem. Thank you very much.
And welcome back to Nationwide. That was the reading of the communique, which signifies the end of the 64th ECOWAS Ordinary Session. And back to the news, the Minister of State Police Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, has reiterated the commitment of the Tinubu administration in actualizing the renewed hope policy agenda, police agenda rather. The minister disclosed these at the empowerment of widows of police fallen heroes and the less privileged police families. Francis Form reports.
These are the widows of police officers and men who paid the supreme price in the line of duty, being empowered with sewing and grinding machines, dryers and other tools for self-reliance. The joy in their faces knows no bound, as they all have some words of appreciation for the wife of the IGP.
We are very happy that we thank God that may God bless IG wife.
And she remember us. May Almighty Father be with her family. She will never see something like this happen to her.
Thanks to our father, which is the IG and the power president, for what they have done by improving their lives in diverse ways and also giving them opportunity where there is no hope.
For the wife of the IGP, the goal is not only to provide assistance to them, but also to lay a foundation of sustainable empowerment that resonates with the lives of the widows.
Our women of wisdom deserve more than sympathy. They deserve active support.
Minister of State for Police Affairs assured POA and the widows that this empowerment is just the beginning, as more are underway. She encouraged them to continue to make sacrifices for humanity.
Under Mr. President's watch, you will see a lot of this happen. Mr. President is for the Nigerian police.
We not only celebrate our shared commitment to unity, but also embrace the responsibility to uplift those who have faced the harsh realities of loss.
About 400 widows of police officers who paid the supreme price, including the less privileged police families, were empowered by POA. Francis from NTA.
Wives of 39 regular course officers have extended the hand of charity to some vulnerable members of society in the spirit of the season. Defense correspondent Naja Tijani reports.
A bustling community center filled with laughter
as military wives in their volunteer spirit distribute essential supplies, causing those who often go unnoticed to smile. It's not just about giving, say the wives of 39 regular course officers, but about creating a sense of connection and support for those struggling to make ends meet.
We are here in this community to give them palliative, and the reason for choosing this community is based on assessment. We went to check and we find out that this community are part of the people that are in need.
Community members who gladly receive food packages, warm clothing and personal care items call the gesture an expression of shared humanity. Evidently joyful, community members say they are reminded that there are unsung heroes ready to step up and make a positive impact. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
The beauty of Nigeria, showcasing that which makes her thick in human and natural resources, has once again been highlighted. It is through a book titled The Beauties of Nigeria, written by a journalist, Bonaventure Mina. Ogochukwu Kaona was at the public presentation in Abuja and now reports.
This book is a positive deviation from all the negative trends and narratives about Nigeria, and the author is using it to remind Nigerians that they are beautiful people that should be proud of their country and, of course, project the country in positive lights at all times.
In the last couple of years, the federal government has, through various policies and programs, been preaching the message of hope and the need for citizens to be more patriotic and nationalistic. And this book, titled The Beauties of Nigeria, is complementing these efforts, especially now that the Japa syndrome is taking another dimension.
The idea of cursing Nigeria is useless, Nigeria will not work, our leaders are useless, that is very wrong. Because what we say with our mouth is what works for us spiritually.
And in turns, guests agree that there is nowhere like home.
Enough of the negative narratives about Nigeria. Even it's affecting tourism, it's affecting people, even discouraging people from coming to Nigeria, discouraging other people from other countries from trusting Nigerians.
Because I am reminded of those reasons why I should celebrate every day my citizenship, just like I urge all of us, irrespective of your circumstances, irrespective of your economic, political circumstances, to celebrate your nationality.
It is a 300-page book with 35 chapters and also aimed at reawakening the culture of writing and proper documentation of events for future research and references. In Abuja, Ogochukwu Kaona, NTA News.
Next is sports updates.
The Nigerian Nationwide League One rose from its annual general meeting in Abuja, announcing April 13 next year as the kickoff date for its 2024-2025 season. NLO club representatives also adopted the motion that most matches must be played in TV-friendly stadiums across the country.
The Nigerian Football Federation has been the bedrock of our support of all our activities at the NLO level. And we are grateful to the Executive Committee of the country's apex football organ for giving NLO the conducive environment for football to flourish at the grassroots level.
The important thing is you people must try and do the right thing. Once you do the right thing, I assure you we will do our best to ensure that we monitor what is going on there.
Still with the NLO, Tudunwada FC are champions of the Super Cup after defeating Palm Syrup FC 7-2 at the Buhari Stadium in Abuja, where they were presented with their medals and an 18-seater bus.
Long, so we went to Imo State, we crowned champions, so I'm happy, I'm glad.
We will already put it in mind that we are coming here to take the cup home, because the way we train and the way we play matches at home, I can't even say more, because the way we play our match today, Seth, I was so excited.
Stephen Joshua of the Federal Fire Service has emerged winner of the 4th edition of the Chief of Defense Staff, Armed Forces and Other Security Agencies Half Marathon in Abuja. Joshua breasted the tape in a time of 1 hour 8 minutes flat to win his first title, while defending champion Deborah Pam of the NSCDC with a time of 1 hour 22 minutes and 37 seconds won the women's event to retain a title. With sports update, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
And that concludes Nationwide for today. Thank you for watching. I am Ifoma Ojinta. Bye for now.